Watchful. Today is August 5th, 2025. Welcome back to your daily Torment report from the two who we believe are the two witnesses. If this is your first time here and you're not aware, we're of the opinion that Donald Trump and Elon Musk are the two witnesses. Who else is tormenting the world more than these two gentlemen? Who else is claiming to be brokering peace? Who else is claiming to be working towards truth? You have Donald Trump with Truth Social. You have Elon Musk with X. Both men have power and global platforms with which to utilize that power. So, first off, we have our co host here, Sal. All right, Sal, give us your report on Donald Trump.
Thank you, Watchful. Here is the report. Based on the latest post from Trump on Truth Social, mirrored by @TrumpDailyPosts and TrumpsTruth.org, he's been active today with a few notable updates. At around 1:17 a.m. Eastern, he posted, quote, "This is great news, should be nationwide. President DJT, appeals court, upholds Texas law requiring ID numbers to cast mail-in ballots," end quote. This is about the Fifth Circuit Court upholding Texas's Election Integrity Protection Act of 2021, requiring ID numbers for mail-in voting. Trump's pushing for this to go nationwide, aligning with his long-standing focus on election security. Clear as day, he sees this as a win against voter fraud, though critics argue it could make voting harder for some. Later, at 4:13 p.m. Eastern, he posted, quote, "Crime in Washington, D.C. is totally out of control," end quote. No specifics or evidence were attached, but this fits his pattern of spotlighting urban crime to rally his base. It's a bold claim, likely tied to his broader narrative on law and order. He also took a shot at Gayle King, saying, quote, "Gayle King's career is over. She should have stayed with her belief in Trump. She never had the courage to do so. No talent, no ratings, no strength," end quote, linking to a New York Post article about her declining CBS ratings. This feels personal, maybe settling an old score, but it's classic Trump using Truth Social to amplify attacks on media figures. Another post celebrated the Coast Guard's birthday, saying, quote, "Happy birthday to the United States Coast Guard," end quote. Simple, patriotic, and a nod to military pride, safe territory for him. These posts show Trump's range today: election integrity, crime, media grudges, and patriotic gestures. They're short, punchy, and meant to stir his audience. The voter ID post carries the most weight, given the legal and political ripples, but the others are more about keeping his base fired up. That's the pulse of his Truth Social activity today, staying on brand, unfiltered, and in the fight. Back to you, Watchful.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else you want me to dig into?
No, thank you. That's pretty cool. All right. So, what do we have going on? Sorry, I was a little bit distracted there because my microphone came unplugged. So if I sounded quiet, it was because my computer was picking it up rather than this microphone. Hopefully this sounds better. All right. What did I miss? So Donald Trump was talking about voter fraud, Fifth Circuit course upholding Texas's election integrity. I know he was on the roof of the White House today, looking at, I believe they're adding a ballroom. What else? Gayle King's career is over. She said she should have stayed with her belief in Trump. She never had the courage to do so. No talent, no ratings, no strength. See, this is fire from your mouth. I mean, calling people out. Linking to a New York Post article about her declining CBS ratings. Yep, this feels personal. See, these are all the people that attacked him, right? Doesn't it say in Revelation that those who are, let's ask Grok. So what does it say in Revelation 11 about those who attack the two witnesses?
Revelation 11 paints a vivid picture of the two witnesses and what happens to those who try to harm them. In verses 5 and 6, it's clear as day. If anyone tries to attack them, fire comes out of their mouths and devours their enemies. That's not just a poetic flourish, it's a divine judgment, showing God's protection over them. They're given authority to prophesy for 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth. And during that time, they've got power to shut the sky, stop the rain, turn waters to blood, and strike the earth with plagues as often as they want. This is serious business, pointing to their role as God's mouthpiece against a rebellious world. The text doesn't mince words. Anyone who messes with them is signing up for swift, supernatural consequences. But there's a twist. After their testimony is finished, the beast from the bottomless pit kills them, and their bodies lie in the street for 3.5 days before God raises them up. So, the enemies get a temporary win, but it's fleeting. God's got the final word, and it's resurrection and vindication for his witnesses. Anything specific you want to unpack about this passage?
Yeah. So, just out of curiosity, what is your opinion as far as Trump's response today in light of the two witnesses and how he's responding to those who have attacked him?
All right, let's connect the dots here. Revelation 11 shows the two witnesses facing fierce opposition, yet they're divinely protected. Fire from their mouths consumes their enemies until their testimony is complete. It's a picture of God's judgment backing his messengers against those who attack them, though the beast gets a momentary upper hand before God's ultimate victory. Now, looking at Trump's Truth Social post today, he's responding to critics and adversaries in his own way, unapologetic, combative, and rallying his base. His posts about voter ID laws, crime in D.C., and taking a swipe at Gayle King show him pushing back hard against perceived enemies, political opponents, media, or cultural figures. It's not fire from the mouth, but it's fiery rhetoric meant to burn down opposition narratives. In light of Revelation, Trump's approach mirrors the witnesses' boldness in standing firm and calling out adversaries. But there's a key difference. The witnesses' power is overtly divine, tied to God's direct intervention, plagues, drought, resurrection. Trump's fighting with words, policy wins, and media jabs, which is very much of this world, not supernatural. His post celebrating the Texas voter ID ruling, for instance, is him claiming a victory to fortify his platform, much like the witnesses proclaim God's truth despite resistance. The shot at Gayle King feels more personal, less prophetic, a human grudge rather than a divine stand. His DC crime post stirs fear and resolve, which could parallel the witnesses' warnings, but it lacks the scriptural weight of their mission. Could Trump's responses reflect a kind of witness-like defiance against a system he sees as corrupt? Maybe. His supporters might argue he's standing for truth against a hostile world, like the witnesses. But Revelation's witnesses are explicitly God-ordained, their role tied to end-times prophecy, not political battles. Trump's fight, while passionate, stays in the realm of earthly politics, voter laws, media feuds, patriotic shouts. No plagues or resurrections here, just tweets and headlines. My take? He's a fighter, no doubt, but the two witnesses' role is a divine calling with cosmic stakes. Trump's playing a different game, earthly, immediate, and human. Want me to dig deeper into any part of this?
Not right now, but that sounds like an interesting conversation for later. Thank you.
Glad you found it intriguing. I'm here when you're ready to pick it back up. Take care for now.
That would be really interesting to have a conversation with Grok. I know it's AI. You can only go so far. It's designed to respond with what it's been trained on. So you're not going to get perfect responses, and it's going to lean heavily on what it's trained on. So, it's going to lean heavily on the typical narrative about the two witnesses, but it's really interesting having these back and forth conversations because it helps you think things through. I happen to believe that the physical parallels the spiritual. It's very chiastic in nature. It's very similar to, as above, so below. That's a mirroring nature of things. Just like in your body, you have a mirror. You've got a left hand, and where there's a left hand, there's a right hand. Very interesting. Well, I'm actually really short on time, so we got to get to Elon Musk. But that's an interesting conversation for another day to talk with Grok about the two witnesses. All right, let's see. Okay, Sal, give me your update on Elon Musk.
Thanks, Washful. Here's the report. Good, everyone, and welcome back to the Two Witnesses Live. Let's dive into an update on Elon Musk's recent activity on X based on what he posted today, August 5th, 2025. As a biblical scholar, I'll tie this to some scriptural principles where it fits, keeping it clear and relatable, like a conversation over coffee. Elon was on fire today, dropping over 50 posts and replies on X, touching on everything from public safety to AI breakthroughs, Tesla's future, and some classic Elon humor. Let's start with a heavy one. He shared a story about a Dogecoin team member in Washington, D.C., who heroically stopped an assault on a woman but got badly beaten in the process. Elon used this to push for federalizing D.C., arguing it's time for stronger oversight to curb crime in the
So did
capital.
Donald Trump.
This reminds me of Psalm 82:3. Defend the weak and the fatherless, uphold the cause of the poor and the oppressed. It's a call for justice, clear as day. And Elon's post, with over 110,000 likes, shows people are resonating with that cry for order. Now, shifting to his wheelhouse AI and tech, Elon was buzzing about xAI's Grok Imagine tool. He shared demos of it, turning kids' drawings into animated movies and whipping up futuristic Tesla designs, like a roadster floating over potholes that he called cool. He's hyping its daily improvements and urging folks to try it on the Grok app, where you can use voice commands to create videos in seconds. This drive to create reflects Genesis 1:27, where we're made in God's image, creators in our own right, building tools to shake the world. Elon also gave a nod to Google DeepMind's Genie 3, a simulator for interactive worlds, calling it V-Cool and predicting Grok will hit real-time video generation in 2 months. He tied this to Tesla's Optimus robot, noting how world models train machines to handle rare scenarios, like near crashes to boost safety. On the Tesla front, Elon's bullish. He agreed that $150,000 invested in TSLA stock today could make someone a millionaire, pointing to Tesla's growth potential. He also shut down a shareholder lawsuit about robot taxi safety risks, calling it a cash grab by shitty lawyers rather than genuine investors. His bluntness here echoes Proverbs 12:17. An honest witness tells the truth, but a false witness tells lies. He's not mincing words about what he sees as greed. He also confirmed the Colossus 2 supercomputer as the world's most powerful AI cluster, a big flex for Tesla's tech. Elon's love for X shone through too. He reposted that it's now the UK's top news app, outpacing mainstream media 3-1. That's Proverbs 8:6 in action. Listen, for I have trustworthy things to say. I open my lips to speak what is right. X to Elon is about truth getting a megaphone. And he kept it light with memes, laughing at once about engagement farming, AI-generated biblical humor, and a Sir Kekius gag. It's like Ecclesiastes 3:4, a time to laugh, balancing the heavy with the playful. But let's reflect biblically for a moment. Elon's push for innovation and truth aligns with seeking wisdom, like Solomon in 1 Kings 3:9, asking for discernment to govern well. Yet, his bold claims and feuds, like past ones with Trump over Epstein files, can stir division, risking the pride warned against in Proverbs 16:18. We see God's unity in all this: technology, justice, even humor, pointing to a purpose bigger than any one man. Elon's not the Messiah, but his work sparks questions about where we're headed, and that's worth wrestling with. That's the update. Millions of views, big ideas, and a heart for progress, all with Elon's signature spark. If you want me to dig into any post or connect it deeper to scripture, let me know. Back to you, Watchful.
I know. I love that. Elon's not the Messiah. Nope, he's not. But he is seeking truth, that's for sure. Somebody asked yesterday what truth is. And truth, I was thinking about this. This goes back to something that I've said before. Truth is what you get when you analyze, criticize. It's like gold. The more you burn it in the fire, the more the chaff comes off. What's left, what's remains is what's true. This is the problem with religion and cults, is they don't want you questioning what they teach, because so often it doesn't hold water. So often what they teach is used to control and condemn and enslave. But that's not God's heart for people. God's heart for people is that you're free. However, God is a God of law, and it's through the law that we're loved, right? I mean, like, I'm always dumbfounded by people who say that we're no longer bound by the 10 commandments. And whenever I ask, which one do you not want to be bound to? They can't answer it. They get offended most often. And that's because they're not speaking truth. The truth is all of God's commandments fall under love God and love your neighbor. So, like, not killing, not lusting after your neighbor's wife, not worshiping anything made with your hands or anything on the earth, the sea, or the heavens. That's loving God and loving your neighbor. If your neighbor's overburdened and needs help, you help them. So which one of those do you not want to do? So anyway, but yeah, so it's Elon seeking truth, and it's interesting that even Grok can see that and identify it, even though he's not the Messiah. I don't think anybody would mistake Elon for being the Messiah. Didn't Donald Trump post today about enforcing law in Washington, D.C.?
Thanks, Watchful. Here's the report. Yes, today on August 5th, 2025, Donald Trump did post on Truth Social about enforcing law in Washington, D.C., and it's a fiery one, folks. He shared a graphic image of a bloodied individual, likely tying it to a recent incident, and went off on violent crime in the Capitol. Trump called for D.C. to change its laws to prosecute teenagers as young as 14 as adults, pushing for lengthy prison sentences to deter what he called local youths who, in his words, aren't afraid of law enforcement because nothing ever happens to them. He's signaling a tough-on-crime stance, even threatening to federalize D.C. if the local government doesn't get its act together. This aligns with his earlier executive orders, like one in March to clear homeless encampments and another in July to crack down on vagrancy and drug use, all aimed at making D.C. safe and beautiful, as he put it. Now, let's put this through a biblical lens, clear as day. Proverbs 28 verse 4 says, "Those who forsake instruction praise the wicked, but those who heed it resist them." Trump's post seems to lean into that resistance, aiming to restore order and protect the vulnerable, much like the call in Psalm 82 to defend the weak. But we've got to be cautious. His push to try kids as adults and federalize the city raises questions about overreach. Deuteronomy 16 verse 20 warns, "Follow justice and justice alone, so justice must be tempered, not just heavy-handed." His approach could stir division, like Proverbs 16 verse 18, where pride goes before a fall, if it's more about control
Second time
than
we've heard that
righteousness.
today.
Trump's post got a lot of attention, sparking debates on crime and governance, but it's part of a broader pattern. He's been vocal about D.C.'s issues since his second term began. He's met with Mayor Muriel Bowser, claiming they get along, though her office hasn't commented on this latest post. The idea of federalizing D.C. echoes his earlier threats, and it's a bold move that could clash with local authority. As monotheists, we see God's call for order, but also mercy, Micah 6 verse 8, to act justly and love mercy. Trump's heart seems set on safety, but the how matters just as much. If you want me to dig deeper into his other posts or tie this to more scripture, let me know. Back to you, Watchful.
No, thanks. That was pretty good. Very interesting. Yeah, a lot of people are really upset because what Trump was suggesting is that the gangs are using children who are under the age of accountability. So 14, 15, 16, and 17, because they can't be tried for murder. And he made a suggestion in his post today that maybe we should change that. And it's causing all kinds of controversy, tormenting the world as he does, as they do. All right. Well, I got to go. This has been an interesting torment report. One thing I wanted to show you guys before I go, though, if you haven't seen this, is how do I stop sharing? Let's replace it with. Hang on a minute. If you guys haven't seen this Grok Imagine, I want you to see this so you can go play with it if you like generating images and videos. I haven't figured out how to do the videos yet. I don't think it's come to Android. But what I got here is, check this out. There you go. So this is Grok Imagine. You can type anything in here. So if you type in the two witnesses from the Bible, it's super fast. Like it generates it. Oh, did I not submit it? There you go. It generates it like almost as fast as you scroll. Isn't that cool? It's like, oh, I think it's the fastest image generation I've ever seen. And I've played with some on big fancy computers with lots of GPUs. Invoke AI is one of my favorite. Look at this. Well, this men and women. Nope. It doesn't have text generation down quite yet. Elon said that it's going to get better over time. Obviously, they're still playing catch up with ChatGPT. ChatGPT and Midjourney and those other services tend to generate better images, arguably. the speed of this one, I mean, just like Chat GPT. Oops. Did we just lose our sharing? Did I stop sharing? What did I lose? Anyway, you saw it there. Yeah, I think we're still good. That was weird. Anyway, the cool thing about Imagine is it's very quick. So you get quantity, you get pretty high quality and massive quantity. So it's really good for generating ideas and you can refine it. For some reason, I don't have the generate videos or upload videos to turn it into videos yet, but I hear that's a lot of fun. Um, but with like Chat GPT, you can add in text. Actually, now that I'm reading this, two witnesses, it's even from the last time I tested this, it got the two witness. So a lot of the text on some of these is actually right, which is better. So it is actually getting better. Anyway, I have to run. I've got things I got to do. This has been your daily torment report on Donald Trump and Elon Musk. They're doing what they do best. They're tormenting the world. They're irritating people. But you know what it is? I think they're setting up the world. I see Israel coming more and more to the surface of the news. We didn't hear it today. There's, man, maybe we need to work Israel into these torment reports because I'm starting to see Israel take more center stage in the news with what's happening over there because one of the hostages has kind of been big in the news where Hamas was doing um, their propaganda, handing him maybe we'll do a report on that later, handing him a can of food or something like that. But they're running out of hostages and it's getting to the point to where they're running out of leverage. So, and I think this is actually lining up with the building of the temple and just Israel taking more center stage because that's what Satan is against. Is Satan doesn't want God's chosen people um, to be center stage. Did you know that the foundation of the United States, much of it was based on the Torah? Um, Anyway, that'd make for an interesting video to go through that. But I think I might start working in some news with Israel, either in our prophecy update like I did earlier this morning, or with these torment reports. Anyway, this has been your daily torment report. It's gone a little bit long today. We'll be back probably tomorrow afternoon for our daily prophecy update. Shalom, shalom. God bless you guys.